So tell me, why did I have some kind of optimism for today? Why was I optimistic? Why? 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 Why was I optimistic? Thinking that we're playing decent football recently. We've seemed to not necessarily turn a corner, but we seem to have an idea of what it is that we want to do. And we'd at least give them hell today. Why did I think that? Why did I even bother to put this shit on? Why? We know that this is one of the best teams in Europe. One of the best, definitely one of the best teams, if not the best team in England. And I came in here thinking, okay, we might lose. It might be a 1-goal affair difference. Like, why did I get my hopes up? I was quietly like, okay, let's see what's going to happen here. No, bruv. We've literally laid down and held out on the edge of the bed and held out a bottle of lube and said, come, lube me up before you Whew. So I'm gonna need some gin and juice for this one. Cheers. Welcome everybody. So anybody else's asshole is so after that pounding that we just got? Pause. Sorry, I've had a bit to drink because Lord knows we needed to fucking deal with this shit. Man City 6. I can't believe I'm saying this. After 2011. Man City 6, Man United borderline 1. The other two that we got to make it 6-3 was a freaking gimme that they did when they took their foot off the gas that allowed us back into that game with 10 minutes to go, 15 minutes to go, when there was absolutely no way that we could score 5 goals to at least tie. Yeah, I don't even count them two. I think Martial should count them as a way back into the first team. But man, that was a hard watch. I mean, to be fair, we, as Man United fans, we should be desensitized to this now. We should be fucking desensitized to this now. I know I am. Because 4-0 to Brentford and 3-0 and the 7 or 6 something that we got of, I can't remember what it was, to Tottenham. Like, it's happened too many times post Sir Alex with no hope of putting other teams to the sword like that, or the same teams that put us to the sword. We don't do that to them. So with no hope of that, you just have to hold that L. And it's not even a regular L, it's a fucking capital L. You have to hold that capital L and just tote it on your back. Like, what the fuck are we doing? I haven't posted anything since last season. And why is because I got what I wanted. I got the manager that I wanted. I got some of the players that I felt that I would have wanted to see in the team. Not everyone. We still didn't have De Jong and all of that, which is a fucking farce, by the way. But I won't even bother to get into that. Transfer window is closed. Fuck off. I don't care anymore. But the point is that my manager had some of the tools that he needed. Not all, but some of the tools. And so I was like, all right, let me stay quiet and give him some time. And then life happened. Some good things happened. So I was, drowning my sorrows in some of the happier things in my life than trying to fucking pay attention to United. Because I'm like, okay, we're in transition. We have this new guy in charge. We're going to have some games where things aren't going to go great. But until we see some type of stamping of an identity, of this manager's identity, then I'll start to pay attention. Still following the scores and everything where we're sitting, but not following as devoutly as I usually do. The 4-0 Brentford happened. I'm like, fucking hell, that shit. Might be a fluke. I don't know. We're getting our feet together. Let's see. And then we started to slowly do, turn things a little bit. And then we played Arsenal, and I reveled in that win. I'm not going to lie. There was a guy that I was online with, beefing with, and it was so good to just stick that in the craw afterwards. However, that was short-lived in my opinion, because I was like, okay, cool. We have Man City next. And then, with the Queen dying, I think we missed a match or something like that. So we didn't even get another tune-up match before we got to Man City. We just had a longer break. So I'm like, well, the true test comes in when we play City. Never mind the Europa League games that we had. I'm like, the true test is when we play City. And we played City about half an hour ago and promptly got a big fucking dose of reality. Even bigger than I thought we would have gotten. Because I walked into this game kind of quietly confident that at least we would be able to impose our will a little bit for short periods of the game. and we would have given them a tough game. We probably would have lost anyway. I was thinking 2-0 to them, 2-1 to them, and if we're lucky, a 0-0 draw because our defense has been decent so far, or a 1-0 win for us. I'm like, it could go that kind of way. It's gonna be tight. And what I proceeded to watch was a public fisting. I don't even know what else to say. I mean, fucking hell. I'm desensitized to it. You know, sometimes when somebody does something or something happens to you, you just have to sit there and laugh. Like that's what this is now. Our own team is a point of comedy for us as fans. That's how far we've fallen. Anyway, point of the matter is, I think, you know, Casemiro should have been on for McTominay. Instead, I think Rashford, after the first 35 minutes, should have been yoked the fuck off, because him and McTominay were also giving away the ball. McTominay was hiding. Rashford was not. Rashford from back in the day would have busted a gut to track back, to attack, to give the defenders something to think about, make runs, and he wasn't doing those type of things. He was also very timid in terms of taking on a shot. I felt like, you know, take a shot or two, get your nerves out of you, because it's very nervy when you try, especially in the first few minutes against City, when you're trying to walk the ball into the net. And I was like, have a shot. Now, I don't know if they're under different orders, but if it were me, I'm like, I'm having a tester just to put these guys on notice, to be like, all right, he's gonna shoot, and then next couple of chances I get, I could lay it off because I pulled them out of position because they think I'm gonna shoot, and now I've opened up opportunity for a teammate. Like, there's so much different that you can do, and it looks like they're not even, he and McTominay are not using their brains, and I'm like, yo, where's your footballing brain? So don't even Bruno, again, I'm not gonna lie, I hate to admit it, but it's proving a little bit that when it comes to playing against top quality sides in this Manchester United team, Bruno goes missing. Not for the lack of trying, in terms of him trying to be a part of the game, but he does go a little bit missing, and I have to admit that. Eriksen was way too deep. I would have put Casemiro to help protect the back four, but I would have had Eriksen and Bruno as two sixes or whatever you call it, to try and help control that midfield, because at the end of the day, we were always not only second to the ball most of the times, but we were also outnumbered in midfield, especially. Whenever we had possession in midfield, we were outnumbered. There was a particular time where there was that just spoke to me immediately. We had the ball and the ball went out for a throw in for us. But when you saw what the end positions in the first half, you saw 3 City players basically forming a shield, a wall closest to the line when the ball went out. And that type of shielding and triangling around 1 or 2 players that we had when we had possession of the ball meant that we were constantly outnumbered, and then we did not make good decisions in passing. It improved at the back end of the game, but by then it was already too late, and you could also argue that they had taken their foot off the gas, so they sort of allowed us to play like that. I do also think our better conditioning had a factor in that, but either way, too late. So outplayed, out-finessed, out-thought, out-tactic, outplayed, which I said, and I'll say it twice because we were outplayed, outfought. It was just, we were just second, not even second. In a race of 2, we finished 8th. That's how fucking bad we was. And people were saying, well, you know, we let them in the game and blah, 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 blah. Yes, we did, but at the same time, you have to hold your hands up and say, Manchester is no longer the top team in fucking Manchester anymore. And it's clear as day. And we have to hold that, and then hold the club accountable to get the Glazers out, continue to back the manager, and give him the tools that he needs. And then he also needs to deliver as well. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm taking this whole thing with a pinch of salt. I'm trying not to lose my shit. You know what? I need some of this. He also needs time, but I also think he needs to adjust, because of the fact that he was a bit stubborn, in my opinion, playing the game that he played throughout the entire match. Yes, it finished 6-3. I give them credit for fighting until the end. However, it wasn't like we were competitive for the majority of the match and then they pulled away. It was, we were shite, we were bamboozled and buggered for like 70 minutes. And then they just said, okay, cool, you can have a turn getting on top. Like, it was stupid. Like, no, it wasn't a competition. The game was lost from maybe even the 50th minute. That's just the long and short of it. I think that we should have maybe made changes a little bit quicker. Like I said, starting 11 should have been a little bit different. I'd put in Casemiro for McTominay. and then I would have yoked Rashford off 35th minute. But I'm not a Premier League level coach, so what do I know? And yeah, Varane is a worry because he went out injured, and knowing him, he is, what they really do say, he's Rolls Royce Varane, Champions League Varane, but just like with a Rolls Royce, if it breaks, you have to send it off for fucking to get diagnosed by Rolls Royce if you're going, when you have to go through the dealership. And how long does that stay before you get your damn car back? Quite a long time. So Rolls Royce Varane is a very accurate description, and I think I even tweeted about it. Follow me on Twitter at RedVentsTV. You're not gonna see him for a while. He's gonna be gone for about a month. I don't even know what his problem is, but he's gonna be gone for a month. Just know. Tell me something. Is it me, or do the French players go off injured not only very often, but they're off for long periods of time? What is that? Martial, him, Pogba, I think the only person, correct me if I'm wrong, it's been a while so I can't quite remember, was ever like that? I don't even know. But if he was like that, that even it deepens more into my theory. French players are very brittle. But anyway, I'm just joking. But it is kind of look at them and see if this is a trend. I don't know. But anyway, point of the matter is we are not as good as we think we are anymore. Nowhere near, and we haven't been, and only because of a good manager like Mourinho or Van Gaal, Solskjaer being a good manager for a time being and getting that bounce, individual brilliance and stuff like that have allowed us to stay within the conversation. But now that we've gone the route of getting a manager that has to prove himself, with a team that has to prove itself, almost like Arsenal and Man City when they first got taken over, we're going to go through this period of time where we're going to be far off the pace. And we have to accept that. If Ten Hag wants to continue playing the way that he wants to play right now, with a team that isn't near the quality of City, and we play teams like City with this type of intensity and this type of intention, we have to be ready to hold more 6-3s. We have to be ready to hold more of that. But for me, what I want to see is us play the way we're supposed to play and play well. Even if we lose 6-3 again. But we have to be scaring teams. When they come off the pitch, they need to be like, whoa, we got away with that a bit. We dropped them. We had a high score, but we got away with it. And I need to be sitting here complaining, well, we didn't finish well enough. Or, well, the keeper took the game away from us because he had a blinder. Or, we were missing this player that didn't score. I cannot be sitting here thinking, playing or talking about us being played off the pitch, trying to pull the good bits from a public fisting. That makes no sense. And I'm not doing it. Welcome back to reality, Man United fans. Come join me. It's going to be a long ride. We've had over about 20 plus years of success, and now we've had 10 plus of being a bit in the desert, and it's gonna be a little while longer before we see the promised land again. And I believe and I hope that Ten Hag is a guy to at least bring us back into the conversation. But a few more things need to happen over the next few seasons in order to get us there. Predictions after our first serious test, I think that we are going to finish 5th or 6th, and we have to focus on getting Champions League football by winning the Europa League. That's the only thing we have, and if we don't do that, we have to win FA Cup or the EFL Cup or whatever you want to call it, if we're still in that. I can't even remember. I haven't been paying attention. We have to win a trophy in order for this guy to keep his job, and if we want Champions League football, we need to win that Europa League. And if we don't, we need to finish 5th, but win a trophy so that he can get more investment to then push on for top 4 or winning the Europa League this time around. And for me, that is, in my opinion, that is what he should be doing with the team and the investment that he has right now. And after that second year, if he doesn't achieve that, then we need to start looking at something else. Or maybe even if this case, we need to buck the trend and try and back him for the last time, because I think he has a 3-year contract. Back him for the last time, and if he doesn't manage to do it that time or in the way that we want to see it done, then sack him. Then it's done. He's had 3 chances, 3 strikes on you out. But we have to allow managers the time and give them the backing to see their vision come to fruition, and then we could judge whether or not that is where we're going to be headed and we want to invest further in it. But I do know who we don't need to invest in any further, and that's the fucking Glazers. Get them the fuck out, please and thank you. Because that's one of the reasons why we don't have the players that we need. Because they're too busy taking money out of the club. They're too busy trying to manipulate advertising and marketing revenue than winning shit. Let me call it trophy revenue. And yeah, they're running the club into the ground. I've said all I had to say. That's the most I can get on with right now. Things are still frazzled for me. Maybe I'll have better thoughts on the matter later on. But this is it for now. I'm gonna go drown my sorrows a little bit, but I'm also gonna take a look at the other forums, the other people that are online and talking about this match. I'm sure we'll be able to get a more comprehensive view if we, continue to interact and talk with one another. So, cheers to that, fisting. This has been RedVentsTV. Fuck off, City. Just fuck off, Haaland. He's going to be a legend here. Fuck off, Haaland. Oh my god. There is no passion. There is no aggression. That's kind of how I feel right now.